Have you ever stopped to think that you have never seen the world as it truly is? That between pure reality and your eyes, a filter has always existed. An invisible lens through which you interpret every sunrise, every conversation, every challenge, and every opportunity. You were not born with this lens. It was molded for you, drop by drop, word by word, from your very first day. It is made of the silent phrases, repeated incessantly in the theater of your mind. You are not enough. The world is a dangerous place. Love hurts. This is the most you can aspire to. This invisible lens colors every experience. It projects the shadow of your past onto the blank canvas of the future. It doesn't allow you to see the world. It forces you to see, again and again, the reflection of your own beliefs. That lens, that incessant and often unconscious conversation, is your internal dialogue. And it is the most powerful and underestimated force in the universe. It is the silent cause behind every visible effect in your life. The quality of your wealth, your relationships, your inner peace, is nothing more than a direct echo of the quality of that conversation. Most people live and die without ever knowing they are wearing this lens. They believe that the world is, in effect, the color they see it as, and they resign themselves to living in a landscape tinted by fear and limitation. But the feeling that has brought you here, that splinter in the mind, is proof that a part of you knows there is something more. It knows that it is possible to see with different eyes. The journey you are about to embark on is that of the soul's optician. It is not about fighting against the world you see. It is about something much more profound. To carefully remove the lens, examine it for the first time under the light of consciousness, and begin to polish a new one. A lens of possibility, of power, and of purpose. The conversation that has been defining your destiny is ready to be heard and rewritten. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Your thoughts are not private. The universe is always listening. You sit in silence. You believe you are alone with your thoughts. In the seemingly private sanctuary of your mind, you review your fears, rehearse your arguments, dream your longings, and criticize your imperfections. You believe this intimate conversation, this incessant monologue, is your best-kept secret, a private show with no audience. The first truth we must understand to reclaim our power, the one that serves as the foundation for all that follows, is as simple as it is unsettling. Your thoughts are not private. Every thought you have is not a silent, abstract event confined within the limits of your skull. It is a pulse of energy. It is an electrical impulse that travels through the neurons of your brain, and each impulse generates a measurable electromagnetic field. Every feeling that accompanies that thought, the emotion of fear, joy, love, scarcity, emanates from your heart and your body as a wave, a vibrational signature that expands far beyond your skin. Your entire being is a radio station, a station that is broadcasting a signal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without rest. And the universe, that vast field of energy and intelligence in which we exist, is the perfect listener. It does not judge. It does not have an opinion. It simply listens and responds. This is the great law. The universe does not respond to your superficial desires, to the words you say aloud if you do not feel them. It responds to the dominant frequency of your transmission. It responds to the background music of your mind, to your habitual emotional state. Imagine you want to listen to a classical music symphony on the radio, frequency 105.5 FM. But you have the dial tuned to 88.1 FM, a station of static noise and jarring alarms. You can shout at the radio all day, "I want to hear Mozart." You can wish for it with all your might, but as long as the dial remains on 88.1, only noise and static will come from the radio. It's not that the radio is evil or that Mozart doesn't exist. It's a simple matter of physics, of resonance. Your life works the same way. You can consciously say, "I want abundance, I want peace, I want love." But if the background frequency of your internal dialogue is tuned to fear, self-criticism, and a belief in scarcity, that is the signal you are broadcasting. And the universe, like a cosmic radio, has no choice but to reflect the music of that frequency back into your reality. More situations that cause you fear, more reasons to criticize yourself, more experiences of scarcity. The universe does not understand words, it understands frequencies. And the most potent frequency you emit is not that of your logical thoughts, but of your deeply felt beliefs. What you feel in your body, in your heart, becomes the primary directive for the creation of your reality. Herein lies the root of human struggle. Conflict is born from incoherence. It occurs when there is a civil war between what we say we want and what we truly believe and feel. The conscious captain shouts from the bridge, "Set a course for the island of prosperity." But the dominant feeling in the engine room, the subconscious belief is, "I don't deserve it. Money is hard to come by." The subconscious crew ignores the captain's shout and obeys the vibration from the engine room, setting a course, once again, for the island of scarcity. You cannot tune the radio to the frequency of fear and expect to hear the symphony of abundance. You cannot transmit the vibration of self-criticism and expect to receive the echo of unconditional love. Reality is a perfect mirror, not of your wishes, but of your being. This understanding is, at first, confrontational. It strips us of all our excuses. We can no longer blame luck, others, or external circumstances. It places us at the center of our universe and gives us back 100% of our responsibility. But along with that responsibility, it hands us unimaginable power. Because if we are the ones broadcasting the signal, it means we have the power to change the frequency. If we don't like the music we are hearing in our lives, we can, at any moment, change the dial. The first step to changing your transmission is to become a conscious listener of your own station. Practice auditing your inner transmission. These exercises are designed to help you become aware of the signal you have been unconsciously broadcasting. Exercise 1. The Emotional Frequency Analyzer. Most of us go through the day with no idea what our background emotional state is. This exercise is to change that. Set a silent alarm on your phone, or watch to go off 3 or 4 random times throughout the day. Each time the alarm sounds, pause, no matter what you are doing. Close your eyes if you can, and ask yourself this simple question. If my current emotional state were a radio station, what would it be called? Don't overanalyze it. Just give it the first name that comes to mind. Maybe it's Constant Worry FM. Maybe Calm and Focus Radio. Maybe Criticism and Judgment Radio. Or Silent Gratitude Radio. Write down the name of the station in a notebook. The goal is not to change the station yet. It is simply to become aware of what you are broadcasting most of the time. You might be surprised to discover what the usual background music of your life is. Exercise 2. The Resonance Journal. This exercise will help you see the direct connection between your internal broadcast and your external reality. For the next 3 days, divide a page in your journal into 2 columns. Column 1. My morning signal. Just after waking up before the day overwhelms you, take a minute to identify your dominant emotional state. Did you wake up feeling anxious about the day ahead? Hopeful, tired, grateful? Write it down. This is the frequency with which you begin your day's transmission. Column 2. Reflections and echoes of the day. At the end of the day, review your day. Note the small events, conversations, setbacks, or synchronicities that seem to resonate or echo your morning state. If you woke up feeling stressed and pressed for time, perhaps the reflection was an unexpected traffic jam, a client calling with an emergency, or the feeling of rushing everywhere. If you woke up with a sense of calm and confidence, perhaps the reflection was a meeting that flowed effortlessly, a pleasant conversation with a stranger, or finding a parking spot right in front of your destination. This journal is not an exact science. It is an art. It is the art of starting to connect the dots between your inner world and your outer world, of seeing for yourself that they are not 2 separate things, but a closed circuit of energy and information. You are beginning to see the code. You are not a passive observer in a silent universe. You are an active transmitter in a responsive cosmos. Your thoughts are not a private monologue. They are the beginning of a conversation with reality. And the universe is always, always listening. Chapter 2. The Echo of the Past. The Origin of Your Inner Voice. You have become aware of the radio station that broadcasts from within you, 24 hours a day. You have started to notice the frequency, whether of calm or chaos, that you are emitting to the universe, and the question that arises is inevitable and deeply personal. Who is the announcer? Whose voice is it that narrates your life with such authority? We believe that voice is us. We believe our thoughts are original, that they are born spontaneously from our own unique consciousness. But the truth is, for the most part, they are not. The voice you hear in your head, the one you think is yours, is largely an echo of the past, a collage of other voices that you absorbed when you were most vulnerable and impressionable. To take control of the script, we must first meet the original screenwriters. We must undertake an archaeological journey to the origins of our own programming. The first and most powerful layer of this programming was installed in your childhood, approximately between the ages of 0 and 7. During this period, your brain operated predominantly in theta brainwaves. This is not an unimportant technical detail. It is the key to everything. The theta state is a state of hypnosis, of super learning. It is the state in which the conscious mind, the critical gatekeeper, is not yet fully formed. A child does not analyze or question the information received from the world. They simply absorb it as absolute truth. You are a psychic sponge, and the world around you is the ocean. Your first and most influential programmers were, of course, your parents or primary caregivers. They gave you your first software about reality, not necessarily intentionally, but simply by being who they were. This programming was installed in 2 ways. The first was verbal programming. These are the phrases you heard repeatedly, the direct suggestions that became the foundations of your internal dialogue. Phrases like, "Be careful, the world is a dangerous place. You have to get good grades to be someone in life. Don't cry, you have to be strong." Or perhaps, "You're so smart. You can achieve anything you set your mind to." Whether positive or negative, these phrases were not processed as mere opinions. They were recorded directly into your subconscious as fundamental laws of the universe. But the second form of programming, the nonverbal one, was infinitely more powerful. Modeling. It's not about what your parents told you. It's about what they did. It's about what they felt. How did they handle stress? With calm and resilience, or with anxiety and shouting? That became your template for dealing with adversity. What was their relationship with money? Did they speak of it with a sense of abundance and opportunity, or with constant anxiety about scarcity? That became your default relationship with prosperity. How did they treat each other? With respect, with affection, with open communication. That became your definition of love. How did they talk to themselves? Did they treat themselves with kindness and compassion, or with harsh self-criticism? That became the voice of your own inner judge. You absorbed not only their words, but their emotional state, their vibrational frequency. You learned their relationship with reality. It is crucial to understand that this programming, even if it was painful or limiting, almost always came from an intention of love and protection. Your parents taught you the rules of the game they themselves had learned, the survival strategies that had worked for them in their own lives. They gave you the map they had, believing it was the best one to help you navigate the world. Once we leave the home, the programming continues. We enter the secondary programming of society. The education system takes over, reinforcing the idea that there is a single correct answer, that making mistakes is bad, and that external validation, in the form of grades, is the main goal. We learn to seek approval from authority rather than trusting our own curiosity. And finally, the cultural matrix, the media, advertising, social networks, finishes the job, presenting us with a constant stream of images of how we should be, what we should have, and how we should feel to be accepted and happy. From the fusion of all these voices, those of our parents, teachers, and culture, the most influential character of our inner life is born, the inner critic. The inner critic is the internalization of all the authority voices from our past, whose judgment or disapproval we feared. Its original function was, in fact, protective. It was an adaptation mechanism. The voice that told you, "Don't do that," or "Dad will get angry," or "Don't say that," or the other kids will laugh at you, was trying to help you avoid pain and rejection, ensuring your survival within the family and social tribe. The tragedy is that this guardian never gets the memo that you have grown up. It continues to operate with its outdated childhood software. It continues to treat you like a scared 5-year-old, trying to protect you from failure and judgment. But in doing so, it sabotages your growth, limits your risks, and keeps you trapped in a cage of safety. The voice that once protected you has become your jailer. When you hear that internal dialogue telling you you're not good enough, you are not hearing the truth. You are hearing an echo of a parent, a teacher, a past wound. And liberation begins with the act of realizing that you don't have to believe in echoes. Practice the archaeology of your inner voice. These exercises are designed to help you identify the origin of your programming. This is not about blaming, but about understanding. Understanding is the first step to liberation. Exercise 1. The echo of your parents. Take your journal. At the top of the page, list the 3 to 5 most common negative phrases your inner critic tells you. Phrases like, "You're a mess," "You'll never make it," "No one will take you seriously," "You are not worthy of love." With compassionate honesty, for each of those phrases ask yourself, whose voice is this originally? Is it my father's voice, my mother's, a grandparent's, a teacher's? Try to recall a specific scene from your childhood where you heard a similar message. You don't have to remember it with perfect clarity. Often it's just a feeling. Next to each of your critical phrases, write the name of the person with whom you associate that line of code. This exercise is incredibly powerful because it allows you to depersonalize the voice. You realize that this criticism is not yours. It is not a truth about you. It is an inherited program. Exercise 2. The unwritten family rules. Every family has a set of invisible rules about how the world works. Your inner critic is the police officer who ensures you follow these rules. Think about your family of origin. What were the unwritten rules about these areas? Emotions. What emotions were allowed in your house, and which were forbidden? Anger, sadness, fear, success. How was success defined? Was it having a lot of money, a secure job, being famous, being a good person? Was success celebrated or viewed with suspicion? Conflict. How were disagreements handled? Were problems discussed openly, or were they swept under the rug? Write down at least 3 of these unwritten rules of your clan. You will realize that many of your current struggles stem from a conflict between these old rules and your adult desires. Exercise 3. The letter of release that you don't have to send. This is a ritual of immense therapeutic power. Choose the most painful limiting belief you have identified and the person or experience from which you inherited it. Write a letter to that person or that experience. Do not hold back. Express everything you need to express. Your pain, your anger, your frustration, how that belief has limited you. After you have emptied all the emotional charge, end the letter with an act of sovereignty. Write a paragraph that begins with something like, "I understand you did the best you could with the tools you had, and I thank you for trying to protect me. However, your service is no longer required. As of today, I, as the sovereign adult of my life, consciously choose to release this belief and adopt a new truth. I reclaim my power to write my own script." You do not need to send this letter. The act of writing it is a powerful ritual of release for your own subconscious. The voice in your head is not you. It is an echo of the past, a collage of other voices, a program running on autopilot. By realizing this, you stop being its prisoner. You no longer have to believe everything you think. You have turned on the light in the theater and have seen the narrator. Now, we must learn to differentiate its 2 main manifestations, because this voice not only criticizes and limits you. Sometimes, in quieter whispers, it also guides you. Chapter 3. The Critic versus the Guide, the 2 voices that live within you. Within you there are not 1, but 2 main voices constantly competing for your attention, for the helm of your ship. Both use your own voice, but they come from radically different places and have opposite intentions. Understanding the nature of these 2 voices and learning to discern between them is, perhaps, the most crucial skill for taking control of your script and your destiny. The first voice is the one we all know too well. It is loud, persistent, and often cruel. It is your inner critic. The inner critic, as we saw, is the guardian of your old programming. It is the internalization of all the authority figures of your past, parents, teachers, society, whose judgment you feared. Its original intention was to protect you, to help you avoid punishment, ridicule, or rejection. Its language is that of fear, warning, and limitation. It is the general of your army of saboteurs. Its tone is almost always anxious, urgent, and catastrophic. It speaks to you in absolutes. It uses words like always, never, everyone, no one. You never learn. You always ruin things. Its specialty is taking a small mistake and turning it into a prophecy of eternal failure. It focuses relentlessly on your weaknesses, on your past mistakes, and on the worst-case future scenarios. Its goal is to keep you safe within the walls of your comfort zone, and its main strategy to achieve this is shame. It convinces you that you are not good enough, smart enough, attractive enough, or worthy enough to even dare to try to leave the cell. When the critic speaks, your body reacts. You feel a contraction, a tension in the shoulders, a knot in the stomach. Your breath becomes shallow. It is the physiology of fear, the fight-or-flight response activated not by a tiger, but by a simple thought. But there is another voice, a much quieter, more subtle voice, and often completely ignored. It is your inner guide. The inner guide is the voice of your true self, of your soul, of that part of you that has never been wounded and has always known your true potential. Its origin is not the conditioned past. It is a timeless wisdom. Its intention is not to protect you through limitation, but to propel you towards expansion and growth. Its tone is radically different. It is calm, serene, and neutral. It is never in a hurry. It never shouts. Often it doesn't even present itself as a voice, but as a gut feeling, a hunch, a sense of knowing without knowing why. It is the silent certainty. Its language is that of possibility, curiosity, and compassion. It doesn't judge you for your mistakes. It asks you, what can we learn from this? It doesn't warn you of dangers. It reminds you of your strength. It doesn't give you orders. It offers you invitations. Its goal is not to keep you safe in the past, but to guide you bravely towards your most authentic future, even if that path involves risk. When the inner guide speaks, your body also reacts, but in the opposite way. You feel an expansion, a sense of openness in your chest, a deep breath, a lightness, a feeling of peace and resonance. It is the physiology of trust, the great discernment. Who is speaking? Most of our lives are spent in confusion, believing that the loud, anxious voice of the critic is the only truth. The first act of power is to learn to differentiate them. Here is a guide, a series of signatures to help you identify who is in command of your internal dialogue at any given moment. Signature 1, the volume. The critic shouts. The guide whispers. For this reason, to hear your guide, you need to create silence. Signature 2, the emotion. The critic generates anxiety, fear, and shame. The guide generates peace, clarity, and calm, even if its advice is difficult. Signature 3, the time perspective. The critic is obsessed with the past, your mistakes, and the future, your possible failures. The guide always speaks to you from the present and about the potential of now. Signature 4, the focus. The critic focuses on problems, on what is wrong, on what is missing. The guide focuses on solutions, on possibilities, on your strengths. Signature 5, the body sensation. The critic produces contraction, tension, heaviness. The guide produces expansion, openness, lightness. Your job is not to kill the critic. Trying to fight it is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Your struggle gives it more energy, more credibility. Your job is simply to stop giving it the microphone. It is to thank it for its opinion, remembering it's only trying to protect you with outdated tools. And then, consciously, turn your attention to the whisper of your guide. Practice tuning into your inner guide. These exercises are designed to help you lower the critic's volume and amplify the guide's signal. Exercise 1. The Journal of the Two Voices. This is the most powerful discernment practice. When you are facing a decision, a doubt, or a moment of self-criticism, take your journal. Step A. Divide a page into 2 columns. At the top of the first, write, the critic's voice, fear. On the second, the guide's voice, love. Step B. In the first column, let your critic speak freely. Write down all its fears, its judgments, its worst-case scenarios, its arguments for why you shouldn't or can't do something. Don't censor it. Get it all out. Step C. Now, pause. Take 3 deep breaths. Close your eyes. And in the second column, invite your guide to speak. Write the question, Guide, what is your wise and loving perspective on this? And then, write the first response that arises without judging it. You might be surprised by the calm, compassion, and simple wisdom that emerges. This exercise externalizes the 2 voices, allowing you to see them clearly and consciously choose which one you want to follow. Exercise 2. The Whisper's Amplification. As the guide whispers, it needs silence to be heard. Commit to at least 10 minutes of uninterrupted silence each day. You don't have to meditate strictly. You can simply sit in a quiet place without a phone, without music, without books. Your only goal during this time is to listen to the silence that exists behind the noise of your thoughts. In that space of stillness, you are giving your guide's voice a chance to be heard. Often, in these moments, the solution to a problem or a sense of clarity on a subject will appear without you having looked for it. Exercise 3. The Act of Trust. Trust is built with action. Review your Journal of the Two Voices. Choose a small piece of advice or a suggestion that your guide gave you. It should be a low-risk action. During the next week, commit to taking that small action. It could be as simple as making that call your critic told you not to make, or dedicating an hour to that creative project your critic considered a waste of time. This is an act of faith. You are demonstrating to your internal system, with actions, which voice you have chosen as your new authority. Each time you act on the guidance of your inner being and the result is positive, you strengthen that connection, and the guide's voice becomes a little clearer for the next time. Within you there are not 1, but 2 voices. One keeps you prisoner in the museum of your past, repeatedly showing you your failures. The other invites you into the workshop of your future, showing you the infinite possibilities you can create. You cannot silence the critic by force, but you can consciously choose which voice you hand the helm of your life to. And that choice, repeated day by day, is the true meaning of freedom. Chapter 4. Autosuggestion, the art of planting new thoughts. This is the moment you realize that you are not the prisoner, but the guard who holds the keys to your own mind. But knowing there are weeds in your garden is not enough. Now you must take on your role as the conscious gardener. You must learn the art of deliberately pulling the weeds of self-criticism and planting, with intention and purpose, the seeds of the flowers you truly wish to see grow in the landscape of your life. The most direct, simple, and powerful tool for this task is autosuggestion. Life itself is a process of suggestion. Since we are born, we are immersed in an ocean of them. An advertisement suggests that happiness is found in a soft drink. A news headline suggests that the world is a place to be feared. A well-intentioned friend suggests that your dream is impossible. Most of us are passive recipients of these external suggestions, allowing the seeds of others to plant their roots in our garden, without question. Autosuggestion is the act of reclaiming your sovereignty. It is the art of becoming your own most influential programmer. It is consciously choosing the ideas, the seeds, that you want to plant in the fertile and impersonal soil of your subconscious mind. The principle is simple, but its power is infinite. Any suggestion, repeated with enough frequency and charged with enough emotion, is eventually accepted by the subconscious and becomes a belief. And once it becomes a belief, the subconscious, that obedient giant, will do everything in its power to manifest it in your reality. Autosuggestion is not superficial positive thinking. It is not putting on a mask of happiness to cover up sadness. It is a surgical technique to rewrite the source code of your mental operating system. For it to be effective, it must follow a series of golden rules, the laws of communication with your deep mind. The first rule: speak and feel in the present tense. This is the most common and costly mistake. We often formulate our desires in the future tense. I am going to be successful. I will be a more confident person. By doing this, we are giving a very precise command to our subconscious to keep that desire perpetually in the future. The subconscious only operates in the eternal present. It does not understand tomorrow. To impress it, you must formulate your affirmation as if your desire were already a consummated fact. Not I will be, but I am. Not I will have, but I have. By affirming your desire in the present tense, you create the feeling that it is already a reality on the plane of consciousness, the only plane your subconscious understands as real. The second rule, simplicity is power. Your subconscious mind is not an intellectual. It is an artist, a child, a dreamer. It does not respond well to complexity, long sentences, or abstract concepts. It needs a clear, brief, direct command loaded with imagery. An affirmation like, I am in the process of developing a multifaceted strategy to improve my financial situation, is completely useless. An affirmation like, money flows to me easily and constantly is infinitely more powerful. It is simple, it is direct. It creates a clear image and a sense of movement. Less is more. The third rule, the power of the positive. The subconscious, as we have already seen, does not process negatives well. It's as if it were deaf to the word not. If you tell it, I don't want to be anxious, the operative word it focuses on, the image it creates, is anxious. You are, unintentionally, reinforcing the state you wish to avoid. The rule is, always focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. Transform every negation into a positive affirmation. Instead of, I don't want to be sick, affirm, I am full of health and vitality. Instead of, I don't want to be in debt, affirm, I am solvent and financially free. Install the program you wish to run. Do not fight against the one you wish to uninstall. The fourth rule, emotion is the fuel. A thought without feeling is a dry seed thrown on concrete. You can repeat a phrase 1,000,000 times, but if you do it mechanically, like a robot, its impact will be minimal. Emotion is the water that allows the seed to germinate and take root in the subconscious. Before you start repeating your affirmation, take a moment to evoke the feeling. If your affirmation is I am a success, close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, how would I feel if this were an absolute truth right now? Connect with that emotion. Let it flood your body. And then, from that emotional state, begin to repeat your affirmation. Now the words are not just sounds. They are vehicles charged with the vibrational energy your subconscious needs to begin building. The fifth rule, persistence creates reality. A limiting belief that has been running in your mind for 40 years is an 8-lane neural highway. Your new affirmation is a small path you are trying to clear in the jungle. You cannot expect the path to replace the highway with a single attempt. Subconscious reprogramming is not a single act. It is a construction process. It requires constant and persistent repetition. Every time you repeat your new affirmation with feeling, you weaken the old neural connection and strengthen the new one. Persistence is the key that transforms a simple thought into a dominant and automatic belief. Practice your autosuggestion workshop exercise. 1. From complaint to creation. This exercise gives you a formula to transform the language of your critic into fuel for your guide. Step A. Take your journal. Write down one of the most recurrent complaints of your inner critic. For example, I never have enough time to do what I really want. Step B. Now let's filter this complaint through the golden rules to turn it into a powerful affirmation. Turn it positive. I have all the time I need for my priorities. Make it simple and direct. I am the master of my time. Add the emotional charge. I am the absolute master of my time, and I feel a deep sense of peace and freedom in choosing my priorities. Exercise 2. The nightly seeding ritual. This is your main practice for installing the new code. Choose your master affirmation. Choose one, the one that addresses the most important area of your life you want to change now. Prepare the soil. At night, when you are already in bed, relax your body completely. Plant the seed. Begin to repeat your affirmation, over and over. Do it like a lullaby, gently, with feeling. Feel the emotion of the affirmation as if it were already true. Fall asleep in the conviction. The goal is for the last awareness you have before sleeping to be the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Commit to performing this ritual every night for at least 30 days. Exercise 3. The Daytime Anchor. To accelerate the process, you must water the seed during the day. Choose a common action you perform several times a day to be your anchor. For example, every time I take a sip of water. Each time you perform that anchor action, use it as a reminder to, for 5 seconds, mentally repeat your affirmation and connect with its feeling. This simple act keeps the new vibration active in your consciousness throughout the day, preventing old patterns from regaining full control. Your internal dialogue is not a fixed sentence, it is an editable script. Conscious autosuggestion is the pen with which you begin to rewrite the story of your life. Every affirmation repeated with faith is an act of power, a declaration to the universe that you are the author, not just a character. Chapter 5. The Cinema of the Mind, the Magic of Visualization. Your subconscious mind thinks in images. It is its native language. If I say the word success to you, your conscious mind understands the abstract concept. But your subconscious mind immediately looks for an image. Perhaps the image of an office with your name on the door, your family smiling on vacation, or an audience applauding. The image is instantaneous, holistic, and, unlike words, is always accompanied by an emotion. For this reason, disciplined imagination, the act of deliberately creating images in your mind, is the most powerful tool you possess for subconscious reprogramming. This is not simple daydreaming or escapist fantasy. Visualization, when practiced correctly, is the act of drawing the architectural blueprint of your future reality and handing it over to the master builder that is your subconscious. The most potent technique for this is what we will call the mental movie technique. It consists of becoming the screenwriter, director, and lead actor of a brief scene that represents your wish already fulfilled. It is not a documentary about how you are going to achieve your goal. It is a short film that shows the happy ending. The fundamental principle that makes this technique so powerful is the key to all manifestation, evoking the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Your subconscious does not respond to the image of the car you want to have. It responds to the feeling of freedom that you believe the car will give you. It does not respond to the image of the bank account with a certain number. It responds to the feeling of security and peace you associate with that figure. The mental movie must not focus on the process of struggling to get something. It must focus on the moment after you have already gotten it. Do not visualize receiving the check. Visualize paying your bills with a smile and a feeling of relief and gratitude. Do not visualize the difficult conversation. Visualize the hug of reconciliation that comes after. By focusing on the end and feeling it as real, you are generating the emotional signature that your subconscious recognizes as an order to materialize. Creating your master film is an art. It requires clarity, sensory detail, and above all, feeling. Creating your master film, a step-by-step guide. Step 1. Define the happy ending. The first step is to have absolute clarity about what you desire, and then, to condense that desire into a single, brief scene that unequivocally implies its fulfillment. The scene should be short, no more than 10 or 20 seconds, so you can easily repeat it like a loop. If your desire is to heal, the scene is not the treatment, but your doctor saying, "It's a miracle, you are completely healthy." If your desire is prosperity, the scene could be you saying with joy, "We've paid all our debts, we are free." If your desire is to find your ideal partner, the scene is a moment that implies a happy commitment, perhaps you looking at a ring on your finger with immense joy. Step 2. Activate all the senses. Once you have the scene, your job as director is to make it as real as possible for your subconscious. To do this, you must involve all your senses. Close your eyes and immerse yourself in your movie. Sight. Don't just see the scene, look at the details. Make it vivid. Hearing. What sounds do you hear in your scene? The addition of sound turns the scene from a photograph into a movie. Touch. This is a very powerful sense. What do you feel on your skin? Is it the hug of a loved one? The feel of the steering wheel of your new car? Feel the weight, the temperature, the solidity of the objects in your scene. Smell and taste. These senses are deeply connected to memory and emotion. The more sensory details you can incorporate, the more real the experience will become for your subconscious mind. Step 3. Feel the core emotion. This is the climax of your movie, the secret ingredient. As you visualize the scene with all your senses, identify the dominant emotion you would feel if it were real right now. It is a deep soul feeling. Is it gratitude, relief, freedom, peace? Once you identify that core emotion, concentrate on it. Let it flood you. This emotion is the signature that tells your subconscious, this is real. Step 4. Loop the scene. Now that you have your sensory and emotionally charged movie, your job is to screen it. Repeat the brief scene in your mind over and over in a continuous loop. The goal is for the scene to become so familiar, so natural, that it loses its fantasy quality and takes on the quality of a quiet, certain memory. Practice. Your private screening session exercise. 1. Your movie script. Take your journal. Based on the 4 steps above, write the script for your mental movie. Wish title, e.g., financial freedom. The final scene, e.g., I am sitting on the balcony of my house looking at the sea. I check my bank's app on my phone and see the balance that allows me to live without worries. I smile. Sensory details. Sight, the brilliant blue of the sea, clear numbers on the phone screen. Hearing, the gentle sound of the waves. Touch, the warmth of the sun on my skin, the smoothness of the coffee cup. Smell, taste, the smell of coffee and the sea. Core emotion, deep peace, a sense of relief and gratitude that relaxes my entire body. Having your script written down will give you immense clarity. Exercise 2, the nightly cinema ritual. The most powerful time to impress the subconscious is in the sleepy state, just before falling asleep. Step A. Lie down comfortably and relax your body completely. Step B. Now, begin to screen your mental movie. Load the scene with all the sensory details and above all with the core emotion. Step C. Repeat the scene in a loop, over and over, gently and effortlessly. Step D. The goal is to fall asleep while living and feeling your wish fulfilled. Let the last awareness you have before drifting off to sleep be the emotion of your reality already manifested. By doing this, you give your subconscious mind a clear task and a detailed blueprint to work on throughout the night. Your imagination is not an escape from reality. It is the projector that illuminates it. It is the architect's tool with which you design your future. What you project with faith and feeling on the screen of your mind, your subconscious will accept as an order and will build it brick by brick in the workshop of the world. Chapter 6. The Power of Sleep. Programming your mind. While you sleep, you have learned to write your decrees with the words of autosuggestion. You have learned to draw the blueprints of your reality with the images of visualization. Now you must learn the most opportune, most sacred moment to present these plans to the master builder that is your subconscious. Imagine you want a private audience with the king of a vast empire. During the day, the king is in his throne room, surrounded by his council, his guards, and countless courtiers. This is the conscious king, your waking mind. If you try to approach, your message will be analyzed, debated, and likely rejected by the skeptical advisors, doubt, logic, and fear, before it even reaches the monarch. But at night the king retires to his private chambers. The advisors are gone. There is a brief magical moment just before the king falls into a deep sleep, when his mind is calm, receptive, and alone. If you could whisper your message in his ear at that precise moment, it would enter his consciousness directly, without filters or resistance. This is the perfect metaphor for the dynamics of your mind. Twice every 24 hours, the gatekeeper, your conscious and critical mind, lets its guard down. These are the golden moments for reprogramming, the direct portals to the throne room of your subconscious. These 2 moments are the drowsy state, the dreamlike period just before you fall asleep, and the similar period just after you wake up. These are the moments when our brainwaves shift from the beta state, alertness and active thinking, to the alpha and theta states. The theta state, in particular, is the state of light sleep, deep meditation, and hypnosis. It is a state of superreceptivity, where the barrier between the conscious and subconscious mind becomes incredibly thin. An idea planted in the subconscious during this state is like a seed planted in the most fertile soil. Ignoring the power of these moments is one of the biggest mistakes we make. In fact, most of us do the exact opposite of what we should. We use this precious portal to unconsciously program everything we do not want. Think about your nightly routine. What is the last thought you have before sleeping? For many, it's a worry. We mentally review the day's problems and anticipate tomorrow's anxieties. We fall asleep in a bath of negative emotions. By doing this, we are handing our subconscious a detailed blueprint for more problems, more anxiety, and more conflict, and we order it to work on that for the next 8 hours. And then we wonder why we wake up feeling tired and with a sense of dread. The same thing happens in the morning. The first thing many people do upon waking is grab their phone. We immediately flood our newly awakened and highly suggestible mind with news of world crises, urgent work emails, and the seemingly perfect lives of others on social media. We are allowing the chaos of the outside world to dictate the first order of the day for our subconscious, instead of consciously setting the tone for our own reality. Taking control of these two daily portals is an act of sovereignty over your own mind. It is the equivalent of ensuring you have a private and exclusive audience with the king every night and every morning to give him your true orders. The Nightly Programming Techniques. Technique 1. The Subconscious Lullaby for Affirmation. This is your primary tool for programming through words. It consists of reducing your desire to a single, short, powerful phrase and repeating it like a lullaby until you fall asleep. Choose your lullaby. Condense your fulfilled wish into a brief phrase. For prosperity, it could be, "Thank you for my wealth." For healing, "I am healthy and at peace." The process. Once in bed and drowsy, begin repeating your lullaby gently and with feeling. The goal is for this phrase to be the last conscious thought you have before drifting into sleep. Technique 2. The Nightly Cinema for Visualization. If your mind responds better to images, this is your technique. Load your movie. Be clear about your happy ending scene. The process. In the drowsy state, screen your movie in your mind. Immerse yourself in it with all your senses. Feel the core emotion of your fulfilled wish. Loop the scene over and over until you fall asleep inside it. Technique 3. The Nightly Counsel for Problem Solving. Sometimes you need an answer to a complex problem. The process. In your drowsy state, present your problem to your subconscious mind simply, as if speaking to a wise counselor. For example, "Infinite intelligence of my subconscious, I hand this problem over to you now, and reveal the answer to me at the right time." The act of faith. After making the request, the most important step is to let it go. Release the need to solve it consciously. Go to sleep with the quiet confidence that a higher intelligence is working on it. The answer will often come unexpectedly, as a clear idea upon waking in a dream or through a synchronicity. Practice. Your conscious sleep ritual exercise. 1. The sleep sanctuary. You must create an environment that signals to your brain that it's time to relax. The hour before rule. Disconnect from screens, TV, phone, computer. Blue light suppresses melatonin. Instead, read, listen to music, or take a warm bath. Total darkness. Ensure your room is as dark as possible. Exercise 2. Choose your nightly technique. Do not try to do all 3 techniques at once. Choose one that aligns with your main goal. If you want to install a new belief, wealth, confidence, use the subconscious lullaby. If you have a specific desire, a house, a job, use the nightly cinema. If you are stuck on a problem, use the nightly counsel. Commit to using one technique every night for at least a month. Exercise 3. The Dawn Notebook. Place a notebook and a pen on your nightstand. The golden rule. Upon waking, before you move, before you think, and especially before you touch your phone, lie still. The reception. Pay attention. What ideas, feelings, or images are present? This is often your subconscious's answer. The capture. Immediately write down anything that comes up before the noise of the day erases it. Your day ends, but your mind never rests. Sleep is not a pause in the creation of your life. It is the moment when the deepest work is done. By consciously taking control of the portals of sleep and waking, you stop being a part-time programmer. You become a 24-hour reality architect, sculpting your destiny even while you sleep. Chapter 7. The Secret of Gratitude. The thank you that manifests. In our culture, we often relegate gratitude to a simple formality. It is the word we say after receiving a gift, a social courtesy, a polite response. But true gratitude, the kind that has the power to transform reality, is not a reaction to something we have received. It is a cause. It is a state of being. It is, perhaps, the highest vibrational frequency a human being can emit. The law of the subconscious is clear. It manifests what we accept and feel as a present truth. And herein lies the magical secret of gratitude. When do you feel genuine, deep gratitude? You feel it after your wish has been fulfilled, after you have received the good news, after you have reached the goal. Gratitude is the natural emotional signature of the wish fulfilled. When you learn to feel gratitude before your desire manifests in the physical world, you are performing the most powerful act of faith that exists. You are sending your subconscious mind the most unequivocal signal possible that the outcome you desire is not something you hope for, but something that has already happened on the plane of consciousness. You are closing the loop, and your subconscious, upon receiving this powerful emotional impression of a consummated fact, has no choice but to get to work, to align your outer reality with this inner truth that you have already accepted. Gratitude in this sense is not a petition. It is a declaration. It shifts from the energy of pleading, please let this happen, to the energy of reception, thank you, this is already mine. It is the fundamental shift from a poverty consciousness to a wealth consciousness. Poverty consciousness focuses on what is lacking. Wealth consciousness focuses, with gratitude, on what is already possessed. The power of gratitude also has a neurobiological basis. When we cultivate a state of gratitude, our brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the same neurotransmitters associated with happiness and well-being. It literally makes us feel good. It reduces the production of cortisol, the stress hormone, taking us out of fight or flight mode, the mode of scarcity, and putting us into a state of rest and digest, the mode of receptivity and growth. A brain bathed in gratitude is a more creative, more resilient brain, and much more receptive to solutions and opportunities. It literally makes us feel good. It reduces the production of cortisol, the stress hormone, taking us out of fight or flight mode, the mode of scarcity, and putting us into a state of rest and digest, the mode of receptivity and growth. A brain bathed in gratitude is a more creative, more resilient brain, and much more receptive to solutions and opportunities. There are two main ways to practice gratitude as a manifestation tool. Gratitude for the present. This is the foundation. Before you can feel gratitude for what is not yet seen, you must cultivate the ability to feel it for what is already here. The practice of gratitude for the present trains your mind to change its perceptual filter from scanning for problems to scanning for blessings. This practice is simple. Every day, consciously identify things you are grateful for. But don't do it mechanically. The secret is specificity and feeling. Do not just say, I am grateful for my house. Go further. Say, I am deeply grateful for the warmth of my bed this morning, for the safety of this roof over my head. Feel the gratitude in your body. This is the thank you technique that Joseph Murphy spoke of. It consists of giving thanks for your specific desire as if you had already received it. It is the act of living in the end, not with hope, but with a quiet, grateful faith. The ritual of manifesting gratitude exercise. 1. The Present Gratitude Journal. This is your daily training to tune into abundance. Each morning, write 3 specific things you are grateful for. Each night, write 3 new things that happened that day for which you are grateful. Exercise 2. The Future Gratitude Prayer. This is your tool for manifesting a specific desire. Step A. Define your desire with clarity, e.g., to get the marketing director position. Step B. Formulate the gratitude statement. Assume you have already received it and express your thanks in the past or present tense. Example: Thank you, infinite intelligence of my subconscious, for guiding me to the perfect position for me. I am immensely grateful for this opportunity to use my talents, for the wonderful compensation I receive. I feel deep joy and satisfaction. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Step C. The feeling ritual. Read this statement every night in your drowsy state. Your real job is to feel the emotion of gratitude. Feel as if you just got the job. Let the emotion of victory, relief, and gratitude flood you. Fall asleep in that state of thankfulness. Overcoming doubt. How can I be grateful for something I don't have? The answer is simple. You don't do it with your logical mind. You do it with your disciplined imagination. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. Your job is not to lie to yourself. Your job is to play a role, to be an actor on the stage of your mind. If you find it hard to feel gratitude for something that seems very far away, start with something smaller and more believable. Start by being thankful for an unexpected sum of $100. When that manifests, your faith will be strengthened and you can move on to the next level. Build your faith muscle with gratitude, step by step. Gratitude is the bridge between the dimension of the idea and the dimension of form. It is the final seal you put on your order for the subconscious. It is the frequency that tells the universe not "I want," but "I am ready to receive." When your desire is preceded by a "thank you," you become a co-creator who acknowledges a truth that is about to manifest. We have learned to communicate with our subconscious. We have learned to give it clear orders through autosuggestion and visualization. And now, we have learned to seal those orders with the power of gratitude. We are equipped with the fundamental tools of reprogramming. Chapter 8. Your Right to be Rich, Programming Prosperity. We now come to the most practical and, for many, the most desired application of these mental laws, the creation of wealth. And the first thing we must do is confront one of the most widespread and damaging limiting beliefs in our culture. The idea that there is some inherent virtue in poverty, or that the desire for wealth is somehow selfish, unspiritual, or evil. This is one of the greatest acts of sabotage we have perpetuated against ourselves. Life, by its very nature, is expansive. A tree does not try to grow just a little. It grows as tall and as lush as it can. Abundance, growth, and full expression are the fundamental impulse of the universe. Poverty, limitation, and scarcity are, in reality, a distortion of this natural impulse. You have the right to be rich, and it is not a selfish right. In fact, it is one of the noblest aspirations you can have. Being rich is not simply about accumulating luxuries for oneself. It is about having the freedom and resources to live your life to its fullest expression, to develop your talents without the constant worry of survival, and to have the ability to help others in a meaningful way. A person with a kind heart but empty pockets can offer sympathy. A person with a kind heart and an abundance of resources can build a hospital. Your desire for wealth, when born from a place of purpose, is the desire to have a greater positive impact on the world. Therefore, the first step is to give your conscious mind permission to desire it without guilt. Once we have cleared this fundamental belief, we can understand why so many intelligent and hardworking people struggle with money. The reason is that they have cultivated a poverty consciousness. They live mentally in a state of lack, and their subconscious obediently reproduces that lack in their financial reality. Poverty consciousness manifests in habitual thoughts and phrases. Phrases like, "There's never enough money," "I can't afford it," "The rich get richer and the poor get poorer." Every time you utter or think one of these phrases, you are giving a clear order to your subconscious to keep you in a state of limitation. To attract wealth, you must stop condemning it. You must begin to deliberately cultivate a wealth consciousness. This does not mean ignoring your current financial situation. It means stopping identifying with it. Your current bank statement is simply the result of your past thinking. It is not your identity. You are the gardener, not the harvest, and you have the power to start planting new seeds now. Applying the tools for prosperity, the autosuggestion of wealth. Your task is to create a subconscious lullaby that encapsulates your new financial reality. Joseph Murphy often recommended a simple word that symbolized the wish fulfilled, like wealth or success. At night, in your drowsy state, begin to repeat this word, over and over, gently and with feeling. Feel what wealth means to you. Freedom, security, generosity. If you prefer a phrase, you can use something like, money flows to me freely, copiously, and endlessly, for my good and the good of all. The last part is crucial, as it neutralizes any feelings of guilt, assuring your subconscious that your prosperity benefits everyone. The visualization of the abundant life. Now, let's create your mental movie of prosperity. Remember, do not visualize the act of getting the money. Visualize the result, the life that abundance allows you to live. Create your final scene. Choose a scene that is the unequivocal symbol of financial freedom for you. It could be the simple act of ordering in a restaurant without looking at the price. It could be the act of making a generous donation to a cause you care about, feeling the joy of giving. Load it with sensation and emotion. Immerse yourself in that scene. Feel the menu in your hands. Hear your family's laughter. Identify the core emotion, peace, freedom, joy. Anchor that emotion in your body. Screen it regularly in your nightly reprogramming sessions. The practice of prosperous gratitude. This is the accelerator. Start living in the gratitude of your wealth, here and now. Be grateful for what you have. Every time you pay a bill, instead of feeling loss, pause and give thanks for the service and for having the money to pay it. This transforms an act of scarcity into an act of abundance. Be grateful for what is coming. Integrate your financial desire into your gratitude prayer. Thank you for the wealth that is already present in my life, and for the abundance that flows to me every day in expected and unexpected ways. A case study, the story of a salesman. Joseph Murphy tells of a salesman who struggled, feeling inferior and resentful. After learning these principles, he changed his approach. Every night, he created a mental scene of a successful day, feeling the satisfaction and gratitude. During the day, he would cancel negative thoughts and affirm, "The law of abundance operates through me." Within a month, his reality began to change. He became one of the top salesmen in his company. He didn't change his job or his product, he changed his mind, and by changing his inner world, his outer world transformed to reflect it. Practice your wealth reprogramming plan. Exercise 1. The diagnosis of your financial consciousness. For the next 3 days, pay attention to your thoughts about money. Write down every time you complain about a price, feel envy, think, "I can't afford it," or feel anxiety about your bank account. Exercise 2. The 21-day wealth ritual. For 21 days, commit to this. In the morning, 5 mins. Read your wealth affirmation and feel gratitude for 3 things you already have. During the day, when a scarcity thought arises, cancel and replace it. At night, 10 mins. In your drowsy state, play your mental movie of prosperity. Feel it as real. Then, fall asleep repeating your lullaby, wealth, success. Your right to be rich is a right to life, to freedom, and to the full expression of your talents. Prosperity is not something you should chase in the outer world. It is something you must accept and cultivate within. You are the gardener of your destiny. The seeds of infinite wealth are already in your hand. Start planting them today. Chapter 9. The Inner Pharmacy. The Subconscious and Healing. We now arrive at the most intimate and, for many, the most miraculous application of the laws of the mind. We are going to explore the deep connection between your thoughts, your beliefs, and your biology. We are going to open the doors to the most sophisticated and powerful pharmacy that exists, the pharmacy you carry within you. Modern medicine, with its incredible advances, has often led us to see the body as a biological machine, a collection of parts that wear out and break down. While these interventions are often necessary and life-saving, This mechanistic view completely ignores the orchestra conductor that governs every process of this machine, the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind not only built your body from a single cell, but it also directs all its autonomous functions, every second of every day. It controls your heart rate, the digestion of your food, the repair of your cells, and the complex ballet of your immune system. It does all of this without your conscious intervention, following the original blueprint of perfect health with which you were born. Dr. Joseph Murphy held a radical truth: all disease ultimately originates in the mind. This does not mean the illness is imaginary. The pain is real. What it means is that habitual negative thinking, chronic fear, or a deeply ingrained belief in illness act as destructive orders. They hand your subconscious a distorted blueprint of disharmony, and your subconscious, an obedient servant, begins to build that disharmony into the fabric of your body. Modern science is validating this connection. The field of psychoneuroimmunology has demonstrated that your emotional states have a direct and measurable impact on your immune system. Chronic stress and anxiety release cortisol, a hormone that suppresses the function of immune cells, leaving you vulnerable to infections and inflammation. States of joy, love, and peace release neurochemicals like oxytocin and endorphins, which strengthen your immune system and accelerate healing processes. Your body, therefore, is not separate from your thoughts. It is the physical mirror of your habitual mental state. Illness, often, is not a random attack from the outside. It is a signal, a manifestation of a conflict, or a disharmonious belief within. The principle of healing is simple in its conception, though it requires faith and persistence. It consists of stopping the planting of seeds of fear and illness in our subconscious and starting to sow, deliberately and systematically, the seeds of health, vitality, and perfection. It consists of reminding our subconscious of the original blueprint with which it was created, applying the tools for healing. The autosuggestion of perfect health. You must create an affirmation that declares your well-being as a present fact. It is crucial to avoid any thought that gives power to the illness. Do not affirm, "My illness is disappearing." Your affirmation must focus exclusively on health. Create your healing lullaby. Divine perfection and vitality flow through me, healing and restoring every cell of my body. The ritual. Every night, in your drowsy state, repeat this lullaby with a deep sense of conviction. Feel the truth of the words. Feel the healing energy flowing through you, like a golden river of light. Fall asleep with the feeling that you are already healthy. The visualization of the restored body. This is the most powerful technique for healing. By giving your subconscious a clear and vivid image of health, you are handing it the exact blueprint for repair. Create your healing movie. Focus on the end result. Imagine yourself doing something you couldn't do before, full of energy. Is it running through a park? Playing with your children without getting tired? Load it with sensory detail. Feel the strength in your muscles. Hear your own laughter. Feel the sun on your skin. Make the scene so real that your subconscious accepts it as a real experience. Feel the emotion. The key emotion here is gratitude. Feel a deep gratitude for your restored body, for the miracle of healing that has already taken place. This feeling is the most potent order you can give to your inner pharmacy. A case study. The healing of the skin. Murphy recounts the case of a man with a persistent skin condition. Every night he practiced a form of visualization. He would imagine his doctor saying, "You've had a miraculous healing." He focused on those words, repeated them, and felt the emotion of relief. Furthermore, he would cancel any negative thoughts and affirm, "My skin is perfect, clean, and healthy." After 3 months, his skin healed completely. Practice. Activating your inner pharmacy exercise. 1. The dialogue with your body. Once a day, take 5 minutes to sit in silence. Bring your attention to your body. Instead of seeing it as a source of problems, send it a stream of love and gratitude. Then, speak to it mentally. "I love you. I give you permission to heal. I trust in your innate wisdom to restore perfect order and harmony." Exercise 2. The healing light bath. This is a visualization you can do at any time. Close your eyes. Imagine a beautiful golden or white light descending from the sky and entering your head. Feel this warm, healing light flow downward through your entire body. Consciously direct this light to any area that needs healing. Imagine it dissolving any blockage or pain, restoring the cells to their perfect state. It is crucial to understand that this approach is not a substitute for professional medical attention. It is an immensely powerful complement. Follow your doctor's advice, but at the same time, do your inner work. A doctor can set a broken bone, but it is the power of your subconscious mind that actually performs the process of mending the bone. By aligning your thoughts and beliefs with the principle of health, you create the optimal internal conditions for any external treatment to work as quickly and effectively as possible. Your body believes every word you tell it. If you speak to it of illness, it will prepare for it. If you speak to it of health, it will mobilize to create it. You are the architect of your own well-being. Chapter 10. Harmonious Relationships and Overcoming Fear. The fundamental law we must understand is this. Your outer world is a mirror of your inner world. The people around you and the way they interact with you are not an accident. Often they are a direct reflection of the beliefs you hold in your subconscious mind about yourself, about others, and about life in general. If you deeply believe that you are not worthy of love, you will attract people who do not treat you with the respect you deserve, thus validating your belief. If you are convinced that people always let you down, your subconscious will ensure that you filter your experiences to focus only on disappointments, ignoring acts of loyalty, and you will behave in a way that subtly causes others to fail you. The most common mistake we make is trying to change the other person. We use criticism, arguments, manipulation, or pleading to try to make the reflection in the mirror change. But the mirror cannot change by itself. It can only reflect a different image if the image in front of it changes first. The only person over whom you have an absolute power of transformation is yourself. When you change your concept of yourself and of others, others must change their response to you. It is a law. Either the person in question begins to reflect your new belief, or, naturally and often without conflict, they fade from your life, and their place is taken by someone who is in harmony with your new state of consciousness. Programming harmony in your relationships. To heal or improve a relationship, you must stop focusing on their flaws and start working on your own mind. The affirmation for another technique is one of the most powerful. Choose the person with whom you have a conflict. In a state of calm, affirm for that person all the qualities you would like them to express. If your boss is authoritarian, instead of feeding your resentment, relax and affirm, I think of boss's name. I wish them peace, harmony, wisdom, and understanding. I recognize the divine intelligence within them. I radiate peace and goodwill towards them, and they return it to me. This changes the atmosphere of your own mind from resentment to goodwill and imprints a new pattern on your subconscious. The mental rehearsal of reconciliation. If you have to face a difficult conversation, use the cinema of your mind to rehearse the movie of harmony. Enter your drowsy state. Imagine a calm and peaceful conversation. Don't focus on the words, focus on the emotion. Imagine yourself listening with empathy and speaking with kindness. Visualize the other person being receptive. Bring the scene to a harmonious conclusion. A handshake, a hug, a smile of mutual understanding. Feel the emotion of reconciliation and peace, as if it were already real. Repeat this mental movie over and over. By doing so, you are impregnating your subconscious with the feeling of harmony, and it will find the means to bring it into your experience. Dissolving fear from the root. Fear is the great saboteur of life. Fear in its essence is simply a negative thought, a mental movie of a catastrophic future, watered with intense emotion. It is a destructive use of faith. It is having faith in the wrong outcome. You cannot overcome fear by fighting it. You must replace it with a more powerful thought using the law of substitution. The triumph movie technique. This is the direct antidote to any fear. Step 1. Identify your fear. Be specific. Step 2. Construct the opposite scene. Create a short, vivid mental movie of yourself successfully and joyfully doing what you fear. Focus on the happy ending. If you fear flying, visualize arriving safely and telling yourself, "That was a wonderful trip." If you are afraid of public speaking, do not visualize the start of the speech. Visualize the end. Hear the enthusiastic applause. See people congratulating you. Feel the immense satisfaction and relief of having done wonderfully. Step 3. Screen it with persistence. Every time the thought of fear appears, use it as an alarm to immediately project your triumph movie. Practice, the architect of your emotional world exercise. 1. The relationship laboratory. Choose one relationship to improve. For 30 days, commit to not criticizing that person. When a critical thought arises, replace it with a positive affirmation for them. Every night, dedicate 5 minutes to the affirmation for another ritual. Simply observe any changes. Exercise 2. The exorcism of a fear. Choose a medium-sized fear. Write the script for your 20-second triumph movie, detailing the senses and the final emotion of relief and joy. Commit to screening this mental movie at least 3 times a day with the greatest emotional intensity you can muster. Your outer world, your relationships, your fears, and your hopes are a direct reflection of the conversation you have with your subconscious mind. When you stop blaming the mirror and start working on the face being reflected in it, the world has no choice but to show you a new image. Harmony is not something you find in others. It is something you cultivate in yourself and then radiate out to the world. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the conscious and disciplined choice to feed a thought of faith that is bigger than the fear. You have received the keys to the kingdom. You have learned the laws and techniques to unlock the power of your inner giant, to shape your prosperity, your health, your relationships, and your courage. The only question that remains is, what are you going to build? Our journey began with the image of a sleeping giant, an immense power that lay dormant within us. We have journeyed through the operating manual of our own mind, discovering the 2 captains who govern our ship and the supreme law that rules them, the law of belief. We have learned the language of the engine room, that of imagination and feeling, and we have practiced with the tools of the mental architect, autosuggestion, visualization, and gratitude. We have seen how to apply this power to shape our prosperity, our health, and our relationships. The power, as you have seen, has always been within you. It is not something you acquire, it is something you recognize. The subconscious is not an external force you must conquer, but a faithful servant awaiting your orders. And that makes you, your conscious mind, the most important figure in your universe. It makes you the guardian of the gate. Your responsibility, and your greatest power in this life, is to consciously choose the thoughts you allow to enter the fertile garden of your mind. Every thought you choose, every feeling you cultivate, is a seed you are planting in eternity, a cause that will inevitably produce its effect. Your journey does not end with this audiobook. It begins now. Your first task is not monumental. It is simple. Pay attention to the next thought you choose, to the next seed you plant. You are the captain of your soul and the master of your destiny. If this journey of discovery has resonated with you, we invite you to continue exploring the power of the mind by subscribing to our channel, Path of Knowledge. A like on this audiobook tells us that this content has brought you value, and if you believe this message can awaken the sleeping giant in someone else, we encourage you to share it. Thank you for your time and for your brave decision to take the helm of your life. See you next time.